Hello, friends and followers, and welcome to the JHouze Radio Podcast. Today, it's about Mutant Mayhem. We're going to talk about the movie, our likes, dislikes. We're going to first start with non-spoilers, then we're going to go into heavy spoilers because that's us.
Yes.
Also, we're going to briefly cover some other things we like and a bunch of other topics. And of course, Keith would have been wearing KJ would have been wearing his sexy shirt, but instead he decided to wear the Jets. Right
Oh,
color, wrong team. Go Eagles,
wow.
go
Don't
Eagles. That's all I'm
disrespect.
saying.
This is the right color. This is the right color. And it is a
Yeah, you're
sexy
right. It's
shirt.
the right color, green and white, just like the Eagles.
Jeez Louise. We'll see, man. We'll see. This is our year, man. We got Aaron Rodgers. This is our year. So it's gonna happen. Guaranteed it's
Listen
gonna
to
be a
me.
special year.
The thing about the Jets and the Eagles, it's really hard to be a fan for them. Sometimes, some years, it really is difficult. We've been lucky that we've had a Super Bowl recently. We've been lucky that we've had good seasons recently. But honestly, these are two teams that, like, if you're a fan, you are a hardcore fan because they have let us down a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I totally feel that. I mean, that's why this year I'm super excited to see what we can do, especially getting Aaron Rodgers on and adding some other key elements to the team. Like this has to be our year to at least like I don't want to even say at least get in the playoffs, but we need to like hit Super Bowl status. Like we have to. Especially the amount of
I
money that we invested in Rodgers. We got to do it,
The
man.
thing about any football team, it boils down to two things: um, the combination of the players and dumb luck.
Yeah, that is true.
There are very few teams like Yankees, for example, who just happen to manage to get the best players and train them to work as a very cohesive team.
Mhm.
I know baseball is one thing, but football's another. But I mean, look at a team like the Miami Dolphins. They're like middle of the pack, but they had
Yeah.
one season where they were undefeated.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot about
So
that. I
yeah,
forgot about
so
that.
so you never know. Like the Jets could have a good year. They could have a better year than last year, or they could have a terrible year. It all boils down to luck, prayers, hope, and like whatever deity you believe in. You hope they football team.
That's true, man. That's true. So yeah, other than that, like Lo said, welcome to J House Radio. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Anybody who's watching us live on the three platforms that we're live on right now. We go live on Twitch, we go live on YouTube, and we also just recently started going live on Kick. So if you are anybody who's listening who is on any of those platforms, you guys can check us out there. Don't forget to check out our patreon.com/the J House. You guys can support us financially over there and get some amazing, amazing benefits. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, guys, just leave a review. Hopefully, 5 stars. Appreciate that, and just tell us how much you love the show. All
Yeah.
right.
Also, we're working on a sticker pack. We're still working on it. Things have gone sort of twisty on my side of life, so it's a little delayed, but I'm still working on it. And you'll see some interesting stuff come out: sticker pack, T-shirts, the whole nine. Oh, and keychains. I'm working on coasters. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff.
Hey man, I
You'll see.
can't wait, man. Can't wait for sure. All right, so let's get into it today. First, before we jump into some of the topics today, definitely want to pay some respects to the late great Paul Rubin, aka Pee Wee
Yes,
Herman, who recently passed away. I think he had cancer, I believe. I think that's what it was.
I I tell you the truth. I haven't had a chance to look it up. Not because I'm not a Pee Wee fan, but just literally just been too busy. When I heard he passed away, I was like, damn, that really sucks because Pee Wee was one of these characters that brightened up anybody's day because of the innocence that was portrayed, the silliness that was portrayed, the goofiness, and Paul Rubens really added this earnestness and honestness to the character that if he didn't embed that in his character, um, no one would have enjoyed him.
I agree.
So I
I
have a
agree.
trivia question for you about Paul Rubens and Pee Wee
Okay.
Herman.
Okay.
What was the first appearance of Pee Wee Herman?
The first appearance of Pee Wee Herman. Um, I don't know. Actually, that's actually a good question.
His first appearance as Pee Wee Herman was on a TV show called The Dating Game.
What? The
Yes,
dating game? Out of
you
all
remember?
the things, the dating
Yep.
game.
Look it up. He was on the show 3 times and won once.
Wow.
On his
Interesting.
last appearance, he won. Yeah.
So was it like a reality show kind of thing, or
No,
was it?
it was what happened was you would have 3 guys on the right hand of the stage. There was a wall dividing them, and on the right side, on the left side, excuse me, you'd have a woman. So a woman would ask the 3 men. She'd be like, "Bachelor number one, what is your idea of the perfect vacation?"
Yeah.
So then, based on the answers to the questions, she'd pick a contestant, and then you'd go out on like a cruise somewhere or something like that.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a show in the '70s, and it made a strong comeback in the '80s, but it fizzled quick.
Okay.
But yeah, that was his first appearance on the dating game.
So
So
on that,
imagine someone picked Pee Wee Herman to go on a date with.
some lucky person out there picked Pee Wee Herman. Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
So he actually had the full personality and everything, the full wacky personality. Was he dressed in the outfit and everything?
outfit and everything.
Wow, that's actually pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely remember growing up watching Pee Wee Herman. Man, I love that guy as a kid. All his movies were just amazing, and like you said, I loved his innocent character. Who was just so different from what we got during that time. And man, he's like one of the greats. He's one of the greats, and he'll definitely be missed. Like when I heard that he passed away, I started thinking to myself, like, man, a lot of the people that I grew up on are gone, man, and it sucks. It
yeah.
really sucks.
Well, here's
So
the other thing too. Um, do you know who was on that show?
who else was on that show?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Really?
Yes, Morpheus himself was the cowboy.
Morpheus was the cowboy on a dating show.
No, not on the dating show, on the Pee Wee Herman show.
Oh, on the Pee Wee Herman show? I have to go back and look
Yep.
at that. I don't remember. That was so long ago. So
Yeah, he
long ago.
talked about it in a recent interview.
That is a deep cut. That is a major deep
Yeah.
cut. So yeah, I mean, I believe he was like 70 something years old, Paul Rubin, and like I said, I believe it was cancer that he passed away from. He will always be remembered for one of the greats, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. I have another random question just to pull out some interesting topics before we jump into our main topic. What is a food that you grew up on, or just had over the years that you loved but they don't serve anymore, that you wish that they would bring back from any restaurant, fast food, whatever, snacks?
Snacks, I can tell you one.
Okay.
The Reggie Jackson bar.
I remember that. I remember that. The Reggie Jackson bar.
But as far as food goes, you know, I- I've eaten a lot of more, I guess, traditional in the sense of, traditional Mexican, traditional Italian, traditional Latino,
Mhm.
that traditional American. So I don't really have like a place that was super special. Oh,
Okay.
you know what? Maybe other than, okay, when I was in high school, a billion years ago,
A billion years ago.
there was this little bodega on the corner, a block away from school, called Steve's. And this
Okay.
man made the absolute best tuna fish and ham and cheese sandwiches. When
Mhm.
I tell you that shit was like crack, it was like crack. There were people who were in college who would come home for the weekend and would order like 5 or 6 sandwiches to take to school with them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably food wise what I miss the most. But snack wise, the Reggie Jackson bar.
Jeez. Okay. That's a good pick. Good pick.
Oh, and Crystal Pepsi.
What is Crystal Pepsi? Is that a flavor?
That was in the '90s. It was a special, dude. Google it right now. Put up a picture. It was a type of Pepsi that was clear like Sprite, and it had its own unique taste. I loved Crystal Pepsi.
I gotta look at this. Hold on. I gotta see if I can find this now. Crystal Pepsi. All right, chat. We're gonna do this live. We're gonna look at some Crystal Pepsi. Okay. For some reason I feel like the way the name sounds, It sounds disgusting. It literally sounds disgusting. Just
It
just
was
based off
more
the name.
it was more citrusy. It was kind of like a rival for 7 Up and stuff, but it was more orangey than lemon limey. Um, and it was one of those things where you either loved it or you hated it. And I was on the loved it side.
You were on the loved it side.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see if I can find. All right. I think I might have found it for anybody who's watching live. So this is it right here. Crystal
Yes.
Pepsi. That thing looks so what did it taste like Sprite almost or something? Like what is that?
Um, yeah, kind of. It was a competitor for like Sprite and 7 Up. Um, it did taste like a lemon lime soda, but it was a little more citrusy. But like
Okay.
it had a little more of a sweeter aftertaste, you know?
Interesting. Okay.
It
Crystal
was
Pepsi.
really good.
I've never heard of that. Never heard of that for sure. But
The best way I could describe it is imagine a watered down, imagine you have Pepsi gets watered down with ice,
mhm.
but you added like lemon and lime to that Pepsi. That's kind of the closest you can get to it, but not like heavily watered down, kind of watered down. You know,
Okay.
your cup is just really, really sweating, but there's still ice in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really good though. It was really, really good. And it wasn't overly sweet like Pepsi.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Um, do
What about
you
you?
do you remember at McDonald's when they had the chicken wraps?
Oh yeah, I used to love those.
Yes, they used to have the chicken wraps, the grilled chicken wraps, and the crispy chicken wraps. Man, when those things were out, I used to eat those things religiously. Like I would literally go to McDonald's like almost every other day, get my chicken wrap, get my French fries. You know what I mean? And for some reason, they came to a point where they would do it once in a while, and then it got to the point where they just stopped, and I was just like, "Yo, where is my chicken wrap?
Do
Like,
you know what they
what
replaced
happened
it
to it?"
with?
What?
They replaced it with their salads.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want no salad. I don't want the green lettuce. I don't want the healthy stuff. Give me the unhealthy crispy chicken wrap with the little
No,
sauce pouring out the side.
no. You know what you got to do? You got to get a chicken wrap with no sauce, and then get their sweet and sour sauce for the nuggets, and you put it on the chicken wrap. Oh, that was heaven, heaven, bro. I remember that. That was awesome.
I freaking missed that, bro. I missed that. So McDonald's, if you're hearing this, or anybody who works for McDonald's, bring back the chicken wrap. At least it's like for a seasonal thing. I just want it one more time. Just give me one more
Yo,
time.
when we do a show together, I'm gonna make my own chicken wraps just for you.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. All right. So here we go. What else we're gonna jump into next? Oh, all right. Let's jump into our random facts. If you have a random fact for us today, Los.
I will in a second. So you start.
All right. So let me see. Random fact. Here we go. My random fact would be, and this one's just for you, Los. And you probably already know this already. Philly was America's first planned city.
Yes, I did
Um,
know that.
You did know that. I did not know that. I actually found that out today. My girl told me about that, of course, because she's a Philly head. And I also have another random fact in regards to Philly. Philly is the home of the first zoo.
Yes, first zoo, first post office. Um, what else was it? Dude, like the Philly's like the first in a lot of things.
First
A
post
lot of things.
office. Wow, that's
First
actually
post office
interesting.
started by Benjamin Franklin. The first city sponsored fire department. If you go to Old City, which is where the first part of Philadelphia was, and is where you see how it was planned out, and you see the grid and everything.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the old houses, they have like a metal shield on the house. If that house had a metal shield, it means that they paid to have for the fire service to put out a fire if their house was caught on fire.
Wow.
Yeah,
Paid? That's crazy.
paid. You used to have to pay the fire department to extinguish to kill the fire if your house caught on fire. If you didn't, they would just let it burn. But if your neighbor's house had the seal, they would make sure your neighbor's house didn't catch on fire, but let your house burn.
Wow, that's messed up. That's messed up. Could you imagine now, like going through tough times? Money is tight. You're sitting in there cooking your little crispy chicken wrap, and next thing you know, a little crispy chicken falls into your little it's part of your stove and it's burning, and you just paid the bills, you paid the rent, you paid your electricity, and then all of a sudden your house is on fire,
Yep.
and there's nothing you could do about it. That sucks because of one little crispy chicken.
Yep.
That freaking sucks.
Bro, there is so much about Philadelphia that uh, that there is to learn. Like they just recently, not recently, but semi recently, they discovered where George Washington's house was in Philadelphia, and it literally sits next to the Liberty Bell, the building where they house the Liberty Bell and
Yeah.
Independence Hall. It was literally
Wow.
a block away.
Interesting. Yeah,
First
Philly.
Continental Congress. Like there's so much about Philadelphia. Thomas Jefferson's house was on 7th. Oh, what's that? 7th and not Walnut. Damn, it was on 7th Street and it was like 2 blocks from the Liberty Bell. Like there's so much about Philadelphia that there is to learn and know.
So our main topics, we're going to jump into that real quick. So the first season, or the season of Secret Invasion, has just finished. We're going to just touch base on it really quick, since we didn't get a chance to talk about the last few episodes or what we think about the season in general. Actually, wait, were we still talking about Secret Invasion, or were we skipping that one? I forgot.
No, we were just gonna give it a really quick brief summary, like
Okay,
how many chocolate bunnies we give it, and do we think that Marvel's in trouble? Quickly.
quickly. So quickly, I think I would give the season 3 out of 5 chocolate bunnies. Do I think Marvel is in trouble? I don't know if I would say that. I'll have to wait for the next movie that's going to drop, which is going to be um, what's the next movie that they have? I forgot.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you, but
Uh,
if you give me a minute,
IMDb, I choose you.
yes.
Actually, oh wait, I thought I had IMDb open already. Do I not have IMDb open? I don't. The Marvels. That's the next movie.
Oh, I'm so excited about that one.
You're excited for that?
I'm so excited for
Why?
that one
Why?
because
Why do you want
here's
to
the
see
thing.
this movie?
Okay, first of all, Miss Marvel was a great show, and I think that she's going to add a lot of humor to the show. Captain Marvel, although she was kind of dry from what the trailers look like, is that she's going to open up her personality a bit, which is something that Captain Marvel was lacking. And Bardot, which I don't know if she's going to use Polaris or another one of her other names. Um, I'm so curious how they're going to use that character because in the comic book she was Captain Marvel at one point.
Yeah. Okay.
And as a character, like in WandaVision, she was one of the stronger characters of that season. And she's one of the characters that didn't make me go, oh my God, how boring. Whenever she was on screen, I was literally interested in what was going on around her. So this is one of those part of the reasons why. And the story looks interesting. Miss Marvel is dead in the comic books.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
She's dead in the comic books, and they're going to bring her back. And the reason why they're bringing her back is because they're making her a mutant. So she may or may not join the X-Men.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm waiting for. I can't wait for this mutant phase to really start kicking off. I feel like we're like inching there slowly but surely.
Well, I personally think Marvel's going to do the next phase is going to be the mutant saga.
I can see that. I can see that. I feel like we're kind of like, with the way things are going, I feel like we're like halfway through this current saga right now, which is, I don't even know what the name of the saga is right now. What is the name of the saga? I don't know if we have a
The
name yet. The
what's his name?
multiverse?
The Kang saga.
Oh, the
The Kang
King
saga, the
saga.
multiverse saga, yeah.
So the
And
King
by
saga,
the way,
yeah.
the next Marvel property that's dropping is Craven the Hunter,
Oh yeah,
August
you're
30th.
right. Yeah, you're right. I did. You know what? Anything that revolves around Spider-Man, I keep forgetting that it's Marvel. I feel like it's just Sony because it's technically owned by Sony in a sense. But yeah, anything that comes from the Spider-Man universe, I always equate it to Sony instead of Marvel, and I keep forgetting. Oh yeah, that's Marvel. So, but that got delayed too. Not King, Craven.
Craven.
Craven got delayed to I think next year because of the writer's strike right now. So we don't know when we're going to get that.
Uh,
Yeah, a lot of
well,
movies are getting delayed.
well, here's the thing though, man. Like people don't seem to understand that once this writer strike and actor strike is over, we're going to have a lull in movies and we're going to have a lull in new TV shows. It's going to
Yeah,
be almost like the pandemic all over again
I was thinking that. Yep.
with no new material. But it also gives a chance for old shows to possibly come back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I was literally thinking that same exact thing. I was like, man, it's going to get to a point where we're not going to have anything in our back pocket anymore because right now we're leaning on shows and movies that were already produced, directed, and written over the past few years. But now we're going to get to that point where it's like, all right, let's start kicking out the new stuff. Oh wait, we're still on strike.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? So yeah, just got to start enjoying some of the content that we feel like we might not want to watch. Just until the new stuff starts kicking in. So
Yeah.
but yeah, back to Secret Invasion. I give it a 3 point. I gave it a 3 chocolate bunnies out of 5. Thought it was okay. The last episode, the last few episodes were they were just okay. I don't know if you want me to spoil it real quick with the last fight scene.
No, I already know about it.
Oh, okay.
All I'm going to tell you is from what I've seen, it is a 3.5 for me, only
Okay.
because it's a little more spy genre and I enjoy the spy genre. So that might give me a little more favorability for it.
Okay.
But overall, I think it was decent. I don't think it was anything to wow us. But the other thing is, too, I don't really think that Marvel's in trouble. I think that Marvel just needs to um, map out this phase just as good as they did the first one. And I think what made the first phase so good was um, the way they planned it out. And I think some things feel rushed in this
Yeah.
phase, but I
I
don't think
would
they're in
agree.
trouble.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're in trouble. I just like you said, I 100% agree. I feel like they need to plan a little better, because man, that first phase, the Infinity Saga, impeccable, chef's kiss,
Yeah,
amazing, like just top notch writing. The way that they would reference something from Infinity War, like in the first 2 3 movies of the MCU, and they would reference it in that movie as if like they meant to do it in the third movie just so it can happen in Infinity War. Like just the writing was just so impeccable. It was so amazing the way everything landed. And I know a lot of writers might have changed, have come and go within the MCU over the past few years. So I'm just hoping that they just get a little better with their planning and just don't mess up the setup for the mutants. Just please, for the love
yes,
of God, please don't mess it up. Like
and
that's what I'm worried
and,
about.
and please don't make another movie as bad as Eternals.
Come on, man. You know you love that movie. That's your favorite movie of all time, man.
No, no.
So yeah. So
And
yeah,
I
I
kind of
mean,
think they fucked up Black Panther 2 a little too.
why so?
I just felt like the Namor part was stronger than the Wakanda part, and I feel like that they if they would have just put like a hair more effort into the story, I feel like it would have been a little better. Maybe it was just edited the wrong way, but I can't fault the actors. I can't fault the general ideas. I just kind of feel like there was just something missing in the story.
I feel you.
Maybe it's just that I miss Chadwick Boseman, um,
Yeah, it could
but
be
I
that.
feel like there was just something missing. It was a good movie overall,
Mhm.
and I'm on Namor's side. Um,
Of course.
no, well, here's the thing: the side you're on depends on the culture you're from. All Native Americans will agree with Namor. Understand?
Yeah.
You have people who invaded your land, gave you diseases, try to kill you, try to wipe you out,
Mhm.
yet you still survived. So you want to do it to them before they could do it to you again. Whereas, as from the other side, you're looking at it as a strong nation, pride in your nation, pride in your identity, and it's different. It's a completely different viewpoint, and it's from a nation that doesn't invade other countries. So it's just, again, different viewpoint. Are you more on the native side, or are you more on the non-native side in your view of watching the movie? And I think, honestly, think that's where you sit as far as who you think was right and who you think was wrong. You're more for Wakanda, and I'm definitely more for Namor.
Yeah.
And in the Kurukilakan.
Wakanda forever.
No, and I'm on the other side.
Oh man. So yeah, like we said, Secret Invasion was okay overall. I was expecting a little bit more from Nick Fury, but we got what we got, and let's move on to the next one.
Well,
Let's get ready for the
I'm
next shows.
curious if they're going to introduce Nick Fury Jr.
Nick Fury Jr. Oh, for the Young
for the
Avengers.
next phase. Because here's the thing, um, and I'm going to say this, then we'll move on to our next topic. In the Ultimates Marvel universe, the Black Nick Fury is the son, who looks like Samuel Jackson, who is the son of the white Nick Fury, who used to fight with Captain America in World War II.
What?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
I'm curious if they're going to introduce a Nick Fury Jr. to take over for Samuel Jackson when Samuel Jackson eventually retires in like 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because he can't play Nick Fury forever. I mean, I like
Now,
you kind of.
but Black don't crack. He could do it for a long time.
It really don't. It really don't.
You really don't.
Um, but you definitely saw his age a lot in this one, especially with him trying to move around and stuff like that. So if they're going to try to do something with the Young Avengers, I wonder if they're going to try to bring like that. Will be interesting if they bring in a young Nick Fury. It's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, or
You
Nick
know,
Fury Jr.
Nick Fury Jr. All right, so our next show topic that we're going to jump into TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, that recently came out this week. I actually saw I saw it like 2 days early. I went to the early screening, which is pretty cool. We got like some posters and a comic and all that stuff like that. Pretty awesome. Um, Overall, well, like Lo said first, overall, we're going to start with a just overview of what we think of the movie, and then after that, we're going to jump
Non-spoiler.
into yeah,
Our first part is
non-spoiler,
non-spoiler.
yeah, and then after that, we're going to jump into our spoiler territory. But before we do that, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button. That would definitely help out for sure. Los, what did you think of Mutant Mayhem overall?
Meh,
What?
meh.
What? What is wrong with you? What do you mean, man? What is
I
that?
have been I have been a Ninja Turtle fan since the original comics, where the original comics were dirty, grimy, and not for kids, and they were done in black and white. Um, and I've enjoyed almost every version of the Ninja Turtles. This one was meh. First part was great, middle part sucked, ending was great.
Okay. Wow. Great way to just jump straight into
Yeah.
it. um Geez. For me,
All right.
honestly,
So
I
overall, what did you think of it?
I loved it, actually. I loved it. I think it's funny how sometimes we have these movies and shows that we talk about, and a lot of the times it's always the opposite. Like you may love it, I may hate it. I may hate it, you may love, so on and so forth. Um,
Yeah,
but
for as many She-Hulks as we have, we also have Eternals. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then there are movies like that we both enjoyed, like Black Panther, where we just fall on different sides of the fences. Depending on who you see as the hero or the villain.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. With this movie, I loved it. It was fun. I love the fact that I loved Ice Cube in this movie more than I thought I would. I thought he did a great job at the voice acting. I like that they let him be him. Um,
Yeah,
I really
without
did
the
like
cursing.
that. Yeah, without the cursing, because I was a little worried. I was like, what kind of Ice Cube are we getting here? Are we getting the almost there yet Ice Cube, or are we getting it from from Compton Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Uh, we got like an in between. He's like, are we almost there yet to Compton Ice Cube?
No, no. It was like someone who lived in Compton and lived in the burbs for a while. Didn't lose
Exactly.
the attitude, but lost the language.
Exactly. We got the Burbs Ice Cube. But yeah, he did a great job. I thought the kids that did the voice acting for the turtles did a pretty good job too. I actually really did love the Leo character. I think his voice acting was great. I think he did an amazing
Yes,
job.
I
Um,
hated the voice for Michelangelo.
Me too. If there was something about it, I don't feel like that. The voice didn't match the way he looked. If
I
that
feel
makes
like
sense.
if they would have switched the Raphael actor into Michelangelo, Michelangelo into Raphael, I think it would have been
Yes,
perfect.
that's actually that's a pretty good idea. It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Um, the
But
music,
great acting though, absolutely great acting. They did a really good performance.
yes, definitely did. The music was great. I love
The
the
music
music.
was amazing,
Yes, there was,
amazing.
dude. I went with my girl to go see this, and there were times that we were just like jamming, like you know what I mean.
Same here, same here.
Literally, I'm like, okay, okay. Like, I actually went back and like downloaded the soundtrack and started listening to all the songs from the movie. For me, that's what really added to it because I was talking about it right before we saw the movie, and I was thinking, man, what kind of music are they going to play in here? Like, is it going to feel like a kiddie movie? Which, in a sense, it is a kiddie movie, but is it going to just feel like a straight up just kid movie, or is it going to feel like it's something that's for everybody? And this is for everybody. And the music really made me feel like I was young again. A lot of the songs we grew up on, a lot of songs we were in high school, and you know those songs were out. So it really hit me with nostalgia with some of the music that they picked. I freaking loved it.
For me, I kind of felt like they did the whole movie for the kids, but did the music for the parents.
Yes, yes, definitely did. Like I remember when I heard Annie Up play in there, and I was like, "Are they playing Annie Up?" Like I was like, "Okay, I kind of like where this is going." And then just from there, they just kept dropping these classics. It was actually really good. I loved it. It was great. Let me see what other voice acting did we have in there. John Cena, he played one of, I think he played Bebop. Let me actually pull up the casting list real quick, just so I can get everything right, everybody the proper shout outs. Um, I actually forgot that Seth Rogen, yeah, Seth Rogen was in it. He was actually Bebop. John Cena played Rocksteady. I thought they did pretty good with that. Giancarlo Esposito was Baxter Stockman. That was a surprise. That was a
Yeah.
surprise. Um, Jackie Chan was Splinter. I thought he did an amazing job.
Oh,
It
I heard that voice right away, and I was like, Master Chan, Master Chan.
Master
But I
Chef.
hated the character. But I hated the character design.
It was a little
I
weird.
hated the way he looked.
It was a little weird. But then again, I guess it goes along with the art style. One thing that they did talk about at the beginning of the movie, before the movie came on, Seth Rogen came on the screen and he was talking about why they went for that animation style, and they said that they wanted to go for more of a kid in school who's like doodling in his notebook, and he decided to make a movie out of what he doodled. So that's why a lot of times we saw random artifacting, random like particles around a character expressing the way they feel, so on and so forth. It was more meant to look like a notebook drawing in movie form, basically. That's what he was trying to
Listen,
go for.
I used to draw all over my notebooks in high school, and I did not have that much artifacting. Um, and and that's the whole thing too, man. It's just kind of like it was just like at certain moments I really felt like it was good, but in other moments they just kind of overdid it,
Okay.
you know. And that was my issue with it, you know. Like, and they would overdo it when there's a lot of action, and it's kind of like you're taking away from the action, you know.
Yeah,
And that was my issue.
that makes sense. Yeah, I feel what you're saying for sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, overall, I thought the art style was pretty cool. At first it did kind of feel like they were going for into the Spider Verse kind of thing, but then I realized
Yeah.
over the time that they were taking inspiration from that and they were adding their own flair to it. You know, so I didn't look at it as much of a copycat. Overall, I mean, I thought the movie was great. I had a lot of fun. Like I said before, the music really hit me in the feels. Um, yeah, I loved it. I freaking loved it, honestly. I feel like we kind of
Um,
mixing a little bit of spoilers with it, but I think it's okay.
no, no, no. I don't really think we have.
Yeah.
Here's my last question of the non-spoilery
Okay.
stuff. Is how do you feel the movie was edited?
I feel like the pacing was actually really good. Because usually, if I watch a movie that has bad pacing or bad editing, I'm thinking about it while I'm watching it. Like, oh wait, that I don't understand that was a bad edit, or man, I would have done that differently, or the pacing just feels weird. And I didn't think that at all in this film. Actually, it just felt fluid. You know.
I love the editing. I thought it was absolutely great, and I think that they edited everything in according to the character design. So like when you have Michelangelo, which is kind of the shorter
Yeah.
one, he would always be on the bottom of the screen when the way they framed it and things like that. I just thought it was really good. Like technically, I don't think there is a problem with the movie. I think it's excellent.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Um. All right. So
Okay,
spoiler section. So if you have not seen Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem at this point, you shall exit to your left or your right, where the bathrooms are. Spoiler time. Los, I'm just going to jump straight into it. Did you see the end credit scene?
okay, no,
You did not see the end credit scene?
no, no. Literally, I was just so blah about the movie that as I was walking out the theater, it was on the screen, and I saw they were doing some kind of video, on a phone, and I was like, yeah, I don't care.
You should have stayed.
I literally left that theater to go to watch The Haunted Mansion, which was excellent, by the way.
I keep hearing about that.
Um,
I heard it was good, but I have no interest to want to see that.
it's so funny. It is good. But anyway, we're not talking about that. That I didn't. I was so blah about the movie that I didn't care about the ending credits. You talk about the ending credits because I didn't see
All
it.
right, so at the end credit, you see the turtles. They're in high school, like they're just showing their experiences, so on and so forth. And then at the end, we see what is the character name? Like the main villain lady, I forgot her name. Uh, well,
I
the
don't
lady who
remember.
plays the main villain in this movie, because you barely see her. I think you see her like twice, um,
Three
three
times.
times. You see her talking, saying how she's upset that she didn't catch the turtles, but it's all good. The turtles are out in the open now. They're going to school. It's going to be easier to catch them now. And then you see that she's talking to a figure in the background, saying, "Hey, I'm going to need you to basically take care of this for me." And you see a shadow figure of Shredder at the end of the movie. You see his
Okay.
little like nail things on his shoulders, and I got super excited about that. So now that technically means we're getting a sequel. How do you feel about that?
I'll watch the
You
sequel.
watch the sequel?
I'll definitely watch the sequel. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll stream it, not flick it.
That's a streaming not flicking for you? Come on.
Stream it, not flick it. Okay, so let me tell you why the middle part was meh for me.
Okay.
I work with kids. Okay, so I know how kids behave. And the four turtles talking over each other at every turn was so bad that even some of the kids in the theater were like, "Ma, Dad, I can't hear anything. It's too much for me." Blah blah blah. The kids in the theater I was in was complaining about that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
you know. But when the four of them were tied up and getting milked, which I thought was
I
funny.
thought that was hilarious how
Um,
they kept talking about getting milk the entire movie. And then the machine says
yeah,
milk machine 2000.
yeah. Like little kids were like going, "Ma, Dad, I don't want to see the turtles get hurt. Help the turtles." Things like that. So, but like a perfect example is when they were in the high school, when they got out of the high school, there was just so much talking and talking over each other
Yeah.
that it was a wall of noise. As opposed to other times in other iterations of the turtles, they'll talk over each other, but not so much that you can't follow a single thread in a conversation. And that was the reason why the middle part was meh, because there was just so much noise that the story went to the wayside, and it was just about the noise.
Wow.
And that was my problem. And my other problem was Bebop and Rocksteady being friends with the turtles.
Yeah, I kind of didn't like that, honestly. I didn't really speak on that too much when I was talking about it with my girl, but at the time that happened and I saw that they were like, "Hey, let's be buddies." I was like, "But Bebop and Rocksteady are the bad guys. Like I want to see them fight the turtles." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I was actually like when I found out that they were in the movie, I was looking forward to them going at it with the turtles because that's one of their main villains is Bebop and Rocksteady. So
Yeah.
when they just became their friends at the end of the movie, I was like, come on, like I don't know. Maybe in part two, maybe they'll get mad at them and try to fight them again. I don't know, possibly. You know,
Or get controlled by Shredder or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
But the Gecko, Paul Rudd's character,
Yeah,
great.
I
Absolutely great.
loved his cat. Paul Rudd is just such a gem. Love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Such a gem.
And that motherfucker don't age.
Dude, he's like 50 something years old and he looked like he's in his mid 30s.
30s. Yeah, early
Seriously.
30s.
Like I'm just like, dang, like that dude's been around for a long time. I keep forgetting some of the old movies that he was in. And I'm just like, wait a second, you were in that movie back in the 80s? Like what are you,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how old are you? You look like you're still in the 80s. You know?
Yeah.
That guy is amazing, man. Rudd don't crack. That's our new slogan now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rudd don't crack. Um
Black don't crack and made shit, but Paul Rudd don't fucking do any of
yeah,
them.
seriously, man. But yeah, so what other things did you like about the movie before we end off our topics on TMNT?
That they watched first Bueller's Day Off.
Yes, I forgot about that. I love that. I really did love that. I thought it was funny how they threw in like live action scenes here and there from like movies and so on and so forth. I thought that was cool because Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of my favorite movies of all time, hands down.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
I did like when Splinter was teaching the turtles in the flashback scene how to be ninjas. I loved how they used Jackie Chan scenes from his movies. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did notice that. But here's the thing I did not like about that. Splinter was the pet of a samurai, and Splinter learned martial arts through imitating the samurai. Now all of a sudden he's YouTubing martial arts and he's a ninja,
Yeah,
and then Shredder killed Splinter's owner, and that's why they hate each other. So I did have a problem with that part of the origin. What I did love is when Splinter finally fought, it was literally taken out of Jackie Chan's
yes, it
movies.
was. I immediately noticed that when Spencer was fighting, he had that clumsy Jackie Chan style, and I was like, I love this. I love
Yeah,
this. You got Jackie Chan voicing Splinter, and Splinter is doing Jackie Chan type moves. It was amazing.
with the rolling chair and the
Yes.
accident, they'll hit this one and that one. The only thing I wished for is Jackie Chan going, "No fighting, no fighting."
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was missing,
Oh man, that
but it
that
was so good.
yeah, that was
The
perfect
hu-
casting. Perfect casting.
yeah,
Seriously.
the humor in it was so good though.
Yeah, it was. There was actually a lot of times that I was sitting in that theater cracking up laughing. And I did
Yeah.
not expect that from this movie, honestly. So it's great. It's great. If I have to give any chocolate bunnies to this movie, honestly, I'm giving it 5 out of 5. And I don't give a lot of 5 out of 5s.
Listen, before I give my rating, I just want to say this. I love the fact that Master Chan went from being someone who barely spoke 3 words of English to now voicing cartoons. That shows you how dedicated he is to the craft of filmmaking, that he's willing to learn another language just so he can make more movies and just so he can be out there for more people.
Yeah.
Have to. For me, the movie's a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And the reason why is the middle part of the film, so much talking, so much overlapping of the conversation that it pushed the story to the side. It was all about them talking over each other and arguing as opposed to um, things going forward. And the other thing I didn't like, it was Leonardo being in love with April. It's always been Michelangelo in love with April.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, I didn't mind that they changed up a few little things here and there. I know the whole Splinter thing was totally different, but I knew they were going to do that. That's just something that I feel like we're just in that age that when we get these remakes or these retellings of stories, people are going to add their own flair. And I feel like the way they did it didn't feel disrespectful. Well, in my opinion, the things they changed didn't feel disrespectful. It didn't feel like it hurt the franchise, in my opinion. Um, It would have been different if, like even for example, April was black in this one. You know what I mean?
Oh, I could care less about that.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were just certain changes that I was like, all right, that's a different artistic choice. That's fine. Like there was nothing in it that they changed in regards to any other lore that made me go, oh man, that sucked. Why did they do that? At least in my
For me, it was the origin of Splinter.
I can see that. I can see that bothering a lot of people.
Because it has no connection to Shredder. And so without that connection, you lose the personal vendetta that Shredder has against the Turtles and against Splinter. That's the only thing I didn't like. The rest, was all little minor nitpicking stuff. Leonardo in love with April as opposed to Michelangelo and things like that. It was all nitpicky. Rocksteady and Bebop being their friends. I mean, that kind of ruins the possibility for them being in the next movie fighting the Turtles, because they've always been like one of their greatest adversaries.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really do think that a lot of the movie, just like you said, that it doesn't hinder the reimagination of certain aspects of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But again, 3.5 out of 5, only because the middle part was just so damn confusing because of all the overlapping conversations that didn't give you an opportunity to enjoy the individual humor of each actor that was doing an excellent job in that movie.
I can see that. I can see why. And to speak to that, because once again, Seth Rogen was speaking before the film started, that there were a lot of scenes where the jibber jabber and all that stuff was happening, where he allowed the voice actors to just freeball it. Like they'll have a certain section in the script, they'll say their lines, and they say, "All right, from here on out, just say whatever you feel, act like how teenagers would act," and he let them act like teenagers. So yeah, it does sound annoying, but then again, a lot of teenagers do sound annoying when they talk about certain things or when you have certain conversations. So that was them just feeling like, being teenagers. You know.
Again, I work for a school system, and I can guarantee you it does not sound that annoying. I can guarantee that for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, so Turtles, great film. Definitely better than I expected. I'm probably a little biased with the 5 out of 5, but that's because I'm a huge Turtle fan, and I had a lot of fun with this. And this is actually the second time that I've seen a Turtles movie in the movie theaters besides the original.
In my opinion, the original live action film is the best Ninja Turtles movie
Yep,
ever made.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. I have a lot of friends who disagree with me and say, "No, it's part two." I am not crazy about part two.
No,
The part two it wasn't bad.
part two is
Yeah,
good.
it's
Part two is
good.
good, but it's not as
Is
good as part
what
one.
part one. I don't know if you ever read the last. I don't know if you ever read the last Ronin comics, but part one is probably the closest that we get to like having a live action last Ronin movie. Honestly, because of how dark it is. You know,
Yeah,
my name in
I agree.
chat says it depends on location. I work with teens and they talk. Oh, they talk over each other a lot. I like the movie. Yeah, I guess it does depend.
No, I do agree. They talk. I, oh yes, I do agree. It depends on location, but I work with teens and preteens, and they do talk over each other a lot. I agree, but when they talk over each other, they're all talking on the same subject and kind of doing the same flow. So with Turtles, they just kind of were going in 40 or 50 different directions at a time at certain points, and it just pulled me out of the story. If it was, and again, it's because you didn't get the jokes that these kids were saying as they were kind of talking to. I think on a second viewing, knowing that I'm going to get so much of that conversation, I think I will be able to pick out more of the conversation. And I think I might enjoy it better. But initially, that pulled me out of the story.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's bad. I think depending on your love for the Turtles, it's a flick it or stream it. The first one for me was definitely a flick it, but the second one for me, if it's going to be like this, it's probably going to be a stream it for me.
All right, guys. That was our review of TMNT Mutant Mayhem. Definitely enjoyed it. Looking forward to the sequel. Can't wait. Let's jump into our recommendations before we get out of here today. Los, do you have any recommendations for the people before we leave?
Um, honestly, I haven't really been watching anything new. I guess really the only thing I can recommend is again Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. That's the only thing I've really been watching that's new. Um, because things have happened in my personal life that it just a lot of my time is consumed, and I only have literally an hour to an hour and a half a week of free time.
Okay.
So, oh, who hasn't shopped at Night the Market? Um, sorry, I'm talking, responding to my name in chat.
It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Or the gallery. You ever shop at the gallery? But we're talking like that was a while back. So yeah, dude, Philly people get together. They start talking
Yeah,
about town
yeah.
like
See
crazy.
that we gotta have like a Philly episode, I guess.
Hell yeah. But what I was trying to say is, I lost my whole train of thought. Oh, Strange New
Mission
Worlds,
Worlds.
yes. So because I'm out of time, I've been watching Strange New Worlds, and we're going to review the season 1 and 2 in a week or two.
Mm.
And what I liked about it so much is that each episode is almost its own genre. They've done horror, they've done uh, comedy, they've done a whole bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
So I love it.
Okay. Okay. Strange New World. Definitely check that out, guys. That is going on our next episode. That's going to be what we're going to review on our segment of Take One, which is, if anybody doesn't know what Take One is, it's usually we take an episode and we use that one episode to deep dive into a TV show that's either currently happening or a show that's happened in a few years ago, or throwback. But it's usually we try to take that time to really dive into a TV show and give it its love and attention that it deserves. So Strange New Worlds is going to be our next Take One show that we're going to talk about. All right, my recommendation that I have is an app called Letterbox D, which is a weird name. I don't know why they didn't call it Letterbox, but letterboxd.com. You can get an app on your phone, or you can do it online. It's a way to, if you're a big movie head, you're a big movie buff, it's a way to track all the movies and TV shows that you watch on an app, and you can review it. You can make lists. You can share it with people. It's like a little movie community kind of thing, basically. And you can just track all the movies you watch and leave comments and reviews for other people to see. So that way, if you're thinking about watching a movie, you can join the community and people will say, "Hey, this movie is great. Check it out," or whatever the case may be. It's just a tracker for your movies. It might sound kind of silly, but if you're a movie head, this might be something for you. So Letterboxd, you can check out the website. You can download it on Android and iOS, I believe. I actually downloaded it recently. I'm going to start using it to track my movies. It'll actually help me keep track of the movies I watched within a particular year. So when we start talking about movies of the year, TV shows of the year, I can look back and say, okay, I watched this. This is what I thought of that. So for me, I think it's an awesome tracker. I'm going to start using it for sure.
That sounds like an actually interesting app. You know what? Maybe we should try getting in contact with the creators and see if we can get them on the show.
Of Letterboxd, that'll be a pretty cool idea. That'd be a pretty cool
Yeah,
idea. Yeah,
yeah,
you guys should check it out.
yeah, I think it'd be interesting to find out their views and about why they did it and things like that. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah. They have one for video games too, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But it's pretty much the same exact thing, basically. So but yeah, guys, that has been our episode of JHouze Radio. Los, do you have any final words to say to the people before we get out of here?
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, your support is great to us. A little like for you means a lot to us. It helps us get on other people's eyes and ears and hopefully get us new followers. If you can, rate us 5 stars on any of the apps that you follow podcasts. And again, it helps us get us on more people's eyes and ears. Don't forget our Patreon, as little as $1 a day, $1 a month, helps us do things like get coffee, get movie tickets, pay for all the streaming services that we have to review all the materials that we're reviewing for you guys. And even if you can't do that, a little comment, a little email is wonderful. And don't forget to look at all our merch in our merch store. And what's the link for that?
The link for that is actually in the description below, because it's designedbyhumans.com/JHouze Radio. But it's in the link in the description on YouTube and in the audio version of the podcast notes, so you guys can check that out. We just came out with some new shirts, some new stickers. We got more merch coming, and we're pretty much in August, so that means the fall is coming soon. We're going to have long sleeve shirts and some hoodies coming soon. So that also supports the podcast, guys. like getting equipment, just keeping up on top of that stuff, and like you said, like Lo said, coffee and things like that, and wanting to do more things and interesting projects. Stuff costs money, and we want to be able to give you guys awesome, great content. And if you guys can support us, whether it's on Patreon, whether it's just giving a like, subscribing, leaving a comment or a review, all of that helps. But we definitely do appreciate you guys, really do.
Yes, and I will want to say one thing. There's something missing from the show today. Somebody in chat.
Legion, yes. Legion is actually not in chat today. Wow, I think this might have been the first episode that I think I have not seen Dark Legion in chat, unless he's just like, chilling in the background, just watching the show, which is fine too. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Legion, if you
we gotta send him a comment to make sure he's doing okay.
seriously, Legion, if you
Yeah.
are watching or lurking in the shadows, we here, man. We love you. We appreciate you,
And we miss
and
you.
we miss you. I miss you. I miss you trolling on me all the time. He's always getting on me about something, man. Definitely appreciate it
You know what? Maybe one show we might have him on. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, seriously, that might actually be a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Don't forget, next episode that we're going to be doing, we're going to be viewing Strange New Worlds, and we hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Peace, love, and chicken grease. We are out of here.
Later.